Coming up on Lifestyles, the world begins to celebrate Halloween. We hear some stories from the history of Galveston, Texas. And motorsport fans flock to Mexico's first Formula One fan zone. Hello, I'm Lisa Ni in Beijing. You're watching Lifestyles on CNC World. With Halloween just around the corner, strange reports are coming in of zombies appearing around the world. Lifestyles briefly went to check.
In Vancouver's Olympic Village, hundreds of zombies join a flash mob in what has become a Halloween tradition across the world. With about as many onlookers as dancers, the zombies dance to Thriller, the creepy 1982 hit by the late Michael Jackson. Vancouver is one of nearly 100 cities around the world taking part in the dance all at the same time. May is visiting Vancouver from Hong Kong. She said the group put in a lot of preparation for the event. Thrill the World started in 2006, making this year's event the 11th anniversary. The dancers each year use the event to help raise money for a local food bank. Although it's also about having a good time, meeting new friends, and putting on fantastic costumes. Paula has been coming out to Vancouver Thrill the World for 7 years. She said the sun is a great way to celebrate Halloween and to remember Michael Jackson and his music. Meanwhile, in Cape Town City, South Africa, people of all ages gather for a not-so-normal walk. The Cape Town Zombie Walk sees people and even pets dressed up as zombies, ghouls, and an array of scary creatures. They walk the streets of Cape Town City before all meeting at the end for a small music festival. The Zombie Walk is an event for all ages and the only of its kind to allow pets. This walk began in 2009 with only 180 people. It has since grown to have thousands and gained the attention of South Africans and tourists alike. In Mexico, the annual Day of the Dead celebrations are getting underway. In its famous tradition, the parade brought to life colorful and outsized skeletons, skulls, and even a mustachioed devil. In 2008, Mexico's Day of the Dead was added to UNESCO's representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity. The celebration marks the transitory return to Earth of deceased relatives and loved ones.
The celebration teaches what it means to dedicate an altar to them and what the objects place symbolize. Many of us plug the marigolds and build a path with metals so they can follow it to the altar.
This year's parade also paid tribute to victims of Mexico's earthquakes and to the rescuers who worked around the clock to save others.
Stan Lee's Los Angeles Comic Con took place in Los Angeles at the weekend, attracting over 100,000 comic fans and cosplayers. Lifestyles went to take a look.
Stan Lee's Los Angeles Comic Con, previously known as Stan Lee's Comic-Case Expo, is now in its 7th year. This massive convention includes appearances from a number of comic legends. Besides, cosplayers and their elaborate costumes are a big part of the show, too. But the star is still undoubtedly 94-year-old Stan Lee, co-creator of Spider-Man, the Hulk, the Fantastic Four, Iron Man, and X-Men, among others.
Welcome to Stan Lee's Pow Entertainment Shanghai Comic-Con. As someone who knows a couple of things about comic book characters and stories, I'm really excited for this new generation of superheroes, and I believe that China's talent and creative storytellers will play a real big role in this new era. So let's make a date, because I'll see you in Shanghai. Excelsior!
Next year, the event heads to China, where the industry is booming. This year, the comic industry in China is estimated to be worth over $22 billion.
Today, we're at the Stan Lee's LA Comic Con. Next year, we'll host the Stan Lee's Shanghai Comic Con in July, during the summer vacation. This is the 7th year for the Comic Con in LA, and it will happen in Shanghai for the very first time.
For 20 years, South Africa Fashion Week has seen designers push the boundaries of style and taste. This year, though, some designers are also hoping to promote more than just the latest fashion. Lifestyles has this story.
Gert Johan Cozy is one of South Africa's most well-known designers. At just 19, he was already dressing TV stars and winning the title of South Africa's most promising designer. His work has always gone hand in hand with strong messages for social change. This year is no different. Cozy is using his Autumn-Winter 2018 collection at this year's South Africa Fashion Week to promote childhood literacy, and he is asking everyone to get. For Cozy, inspiration has come not just from South Africa's high levels of inequality, but from his own problems in school too.
At the end of the day, for me, having grown up with dyslexia and not being able to read and write, I think it's so important to really start at the grass level and teach children and really help them by educating them to really unlock their mind to a world of imagination. Because when you can read, your possibilities are endless. Madiba used to say that education is the strongest weapon a country could have, and that's really my philosophy and what inspires me to do good and really to focus on education throughout my career in fashion.
As to the dresses themselves, Cozy says he is looking to bring a bit of fantasy to everyday wear.
I've decided to go for a very big mix of ready-to-wear. So most of it is ready-to-wear, but also there's a great mix of a little bit of avant-garde, a little bit of fantasy in it as well. So you'll be seeing your showstoppers, red carpet wear, but the focus is ready-to-wear.
One of the models showing off the new collection is Canadian TV soap star Carla Mosley, who says she has been using her downtime at the event to pick up new makeup ideas.
The use of color and pattern I'm really impressed by, and I just think that people are on the cutting edge. They're using, like I said, mixing glam with like a bit of street, and I love that. I love that feel. There's a groundedness to it, but still something that is quite couture.
This year marks 20 years for the fashion show. Even after 2 decades, models and guests alike say they're still loving the experience.
It's different to be backstage than on when you like watching the show. So it's like, from my view, it's an amazing experience. I mean, I've been doing it for, I don't know, almost all the seasons. So yeah, it's great. I mean, hence I'm here today. It's like amazing, it's exciting, you know, yeah.
I love the shows. A couple of pieces I've already eyed, and I'm excited to see what I look like in some of those pieces.
This year's South Africa Fashion Week took place between October the 24th and the 28th, with awards handed out for some of the nation's hottest new designers.
The Hotel Galvez and Spa, just outside of Houston, Texas, is an American institution. Known as the playground of the Southwest, it's seen fun times for everybody from Franklin D. Roosevelt to Frank Sinatra to Jimmy Stewart. For more on his colorful past, we spoke to 84-year-old Bobby L. Hilton, hotel tour guide and director of the local museum.
Bobby L. Hilton had spent much of his 9 decades in and around the historic hotel. Before the Second World War, he worked as a busboy in a restaurant, and since the 1990s, he has managed the Hall of History Museum. He lives and breathes Galveston history.
Sam and Rose Maceo was the king of gambling in Texas. These 2 brothers come from Palermo, Sicily, by way of New Orleans, the whole family, and made their way over to Galveston by 1910 as barbers.
Another favorite story Hilton likes to tell revolves around the luxurious Bolognese room. The historic night spot was destroyed by Hurricane Ike in 2008, but until then, it jutted out over the Gulf of Mexico and provided a venue for high-stakes gamblers and top-notch entertainment.
I was always trying to raid Mr. Maceo's establishment, but he had the most sophisticated alarm system in the country. When they hit the Bolognese room, his brother-in-law, which was Anthony Fertitta, would see them coming and push a button by the door, which stayed locked. And way 600 feet out in the water, the dining room where the band was playing, a name band, and the gambling going on. That buzzer would go off, the band leader would cease playing and begin to play The Eyes of Texas, California. Then the gambling paraphernalia went into the walls and closed up, and the dice tables was flipped over and become pool tables and bad gambling.
Patrons of the club included a who's who of the business and entertainment world, folks like industrialist Howard Hughes, singer Sophie Tucker, and wealthy oil barons from nearby Houston. Hilton also takes guests on tours of the ornate hotel, sharing its storied past, interspersed with historical anecdotes of the island. Among the guests were a growing number of Asian visitors to the hotel.
During our peak months of the year, when we have all of the guests coming from all over the world, we have really noticeable that a big increase of Asian people are touring our hotels and enjoying our amenities that we have to offer.
Hilton also takes time out to motivate young people at every opportunity.
I have with young people, try and get yourself an education. If you have to do it yourself, work hard at getting it. Because I had to struggle, and I know what it's like until I had to teach myself, and most things, I have to do it myself, make up my mind to get your education if you can. And then always strive to get better. Don't settle for mediocrity. Get better. Strive to get better. And you'll be surprised what'll happen.
To the Gaza Strip now, dozens of women have formed an all-female cooperative producing fresh and dried dates. Lifestyles want to hear their story.
With support from international institutions, the company is co-run by 41 women in the Gaza Strip. Razmia Zakut is one of the company's founders. A mother of 9, the work has given her much-needed financial support since her husband fell ill.
We all used to be workers. We felt to start a project that can help us improve our financial conditions. So we founded this company in November 2016. There were 41 ladies. We have an independent board of directors. It is the first woman-only company in Gaza. I decided to work in order to improve my financial situation so as to help my family. My kids are growing and I want to help pay for schools.
Along with the 41 women who founded the business, the company hires 35 other working women to help cover the workload and high demand for its products. According to Zakut, this season the company produced 35,000 tons of date paste and other items including pasta, molasses, jams, and desserts for consumption in the Gaza Strip.
Workers collect the dates from farm and send them to us in boxes. We weigh the dates and clean them. Then we peel off the dates and take the kernels out. Then we dry it for 2 days in specific places.
This company represents a success story for these ladies who are proud of what they have achieved and hope to develop their work. It also marks them out as one of the lucky ones in a country where unemployment stands at around 42%.
To Chicago now, where a sold-out concert has brought a unique blend of Western and Chinese music.
The concert was performed by the China National Center for the Performing Arts Orchestra on tour at the Symphony Center in Chicago on Saturday night. It began with the Chinese composer Zhao Jiping's Violin Concerto No. 1 with Ning Feng as the soloist. Zhao is one of the best-known composers in China. He gained his international fame for his music scores in films, including Farewell, My Concubine, directed by Chen Kaige in 1993, and the Zhang Yimou films To Raise the Red Lantern and To Live. Lu Jia, music director and chief conductor of the NCPA Orchestra, said the orchestra made extensive efforts for the U.S. tour, especially on the selection of music.
When I first came to the US 27 years ago, there were few people who knew about traditional Chinese music. But a huge change is taking place in introducing traditional Chinese musical instruments to Western audiences.
The concert also features pipa, a 4-string Chinese musical instrument, with Wu Man, a world-renowned pipa virtuoso, as the soloist. Wu played American composer Lo Harrison's Pipa Concerto with String Orchestra, which was commissioned for her in 1997.
When I first came to the U.S. 27 years ago, there were few people who knew about traditional Chinese music. But a huge change is taking place in introducing traditional Chinese musical instruments to Western audiences.
Chicago is the first leg of the current tour of the NCPA Orchestra. It will also make its debut at Carnegie Hall in New York City and stop by in Philadelphia, San Francisco, and Chapel Hill.
Meanwhile, at the concert on the other side of the world, performers from the European Union Youth Orchestra and the Shanghai Orchestra Academy have hosted a joint performance together in China. Lifestyles went for a listen.
At the Shanghai Symphony Hall, the two groups joined to present some of the most well-known masterpieces, including Mozart's Serenade No. 12, Ravel's Introduction and Allegro, as well as some Chinese works.
It is mainly a program of European music, actually, Tchaikovsky, Ravel, Mozart. We also have, as I said, this piece by Steve Reich from the United States of America, which is very much a kind of universal sort of music. It doesn't matter if you listen to it before or not, everybody will understand it, I think. And then we have a little Chinese surprise at the end of the concert. So it's quite a mix in that way.
This was the first of a series of concerts under the EU-China Orchestra Exchange Program. It was organized by the EU delegation to China as part of its 2-year Experience Europe campaign, which aims to boost cultural and people-to-people exchanges between the EU and China.
We hope that young musicians from the EU can know more about Chinese culture. We hope that they can know the origin of our cultural history, the reason why Chinese think in this way, so as to create more sense of identity and more opportunities for dialogues in the future.
Mexico City has seen the inauguration of the Formula One Fan Zone 2017, with motorsport fans flocking to the Campo Mart facilities. Lifestyles has your tickets.
For the 4th year in a row, the festival is bringing together Mexican F1 fans for a range of activities ahead of one of the biggest motorsport events in the world. This year, Mexico City Mayor Miguel Angel Mancera inaugurated the festival, with the fan zone being divided into several areas. Giant screens were set up so that the practice and race itself could be watched live. There are also video games simulating Formula One races or changing of a tire in the shortest time possible, as the professionals do in the pit area.
La Ciudad de México está en pie.
Mexico City is standing. This is a clear sign that we are still standing, that we are united. Mexico sends a message of gratitude to the world for their help in the recent earthquake. Let's make this a historic Formula One race. It symbolizes reconstruction.
The Mexico City Grand Prix will see 10 driving stables, including Mercedes, Ferrari, Renault, Red Bull, and Force India, compete with 2 drivers each. After 23 years of absence from the Formula One circuit, Mexico City returned to the fold in 2015, with its native son, Checo Perez, on the grid for Force India.
I always see Perez finish in 7th or 8th place. I know he does his best. He does not race for a team like Mercedes or Petronas, but I think he's doing well. He's worked hard.
Britain's Lewis Hamilton is hoping to clinch his 4th Formula One championship this weekend at the event that should bring an economic boost to Mexico worth $1 billion.
Mexico has launched a project to protect the endangered vaquita, a rare species of porpoise. Scientists have warned the animal is in serious danger of soon going extinct.
Vaquitas are native to the waters off the north coast of Mexico's Baja California Peninsula. Their name translates as little cow, but unlike bovines, which can be seen all over the world, these little porpoises are critically endangered. In November last year, there were just an estimated 30 left in the world. To help, Mexico has built El Nido, or the nest, a circular sanctuary 40 meters in diameter. The nest contains 2 chambers to temporarily safeguard verquitas rescued from the wild by Mexico's Environment Ministry. Trained dolphins have been recruited to help locate and guide the verquitas towards the nest. The country's environment minister, along with a team of scientists, are tasked with helping preserve the mammal. They recently announced a successful location and rescue of one of the species from the northern Gulf of California. However, after inspection, it was found to be only 6 months old. Experts suggested it be released back into the sea since it would likely die if separated from its mother. Only tissue samples were sent to San Diego's Frozen Zoo, which stores genetic material for study. Mexico has also taken drastic action to restore numbers, such as banning gillnet fishing, thought to be the primary cause of death for the animal.
4 snow leopards have been spotted in a nature reserve in northwest China's Gansu province. Lifestyles has the details.
The leopard family was wading across a river at the Yanchuan Nature Reserve. The mother held one cub in her mouth, while another cub made its way without mother's help. The reserve said 53 of the 86 infrared cameras have recorded images of snow leopards.
In the past 5 years, over 3,100 photos and 515 pieces of video footage of snow leopards have been taken at the reserve.
The nature reserve covers an area of 1.36 million hectares. With a grazing ban or controls in the area in recent years, the population of wild animals is on the rise. Snow leopards are Class A protected animals in China. They live in the Himalayas in Central and South Asia at an altitude of 2,500 to 4,500 meters. The animal has rarely been seen in the wild this century due to loss of habitat and poaching. According to official figures, there are an estimated 3,500 to 7,000 snow leopards living in the wild, in addition to around 650 in captivity worldwide.
That's all for today's program. For more news and highlights, follow us at our website. It's en.cinesnews.cn. Thank you for being with us. We'll see you next time.
云天无际，承载梦想。中国南方航空是中国运输飞机最多、航线网络最发达、年客运量最大的航空公司。亚洲第一，全球第3，是南航缔造的业界奇迹。蓝天壮志情，云海谱华章。
同心地产，芝加哥最大的华人中介团队，无论是家居或是商业地产，给你带来全方位的最佳服务。
专业的团队，丰厚的经验。
Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to the Lake Cook Law Group.
投资理财、法律咨询，芝加哥专业律师团队为您的梦想提供最安全的保障。
Hi, this is Little Chinese Channel, 小小中文 Lesson 6. In this lesson, we will be teaching you these 6 Chinese characters. From our last lesson, we learned the character ding. If we put a box in the middle of ding, it turns into ke, means may or might. 可以 means may. Ke is a building block of these two characters. If we put another ke on top of ke, this is ge, 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 means older brother. Ge, 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 means older brother. This character contains ge. Let's learn a new root character. What's this? Yo, yo, yo means again. 又一次, 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 又一次 means once again. Take yo and give a dot in the middle so it turns into cha, cha, cha means fork. 叉子, 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 叉子 means fork. If we take off this part, it turns into E. E. E means meaning. E, 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 E means meaning. Put a line through it. It is wen. Wen means literary or culture. 文学, 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 文学 means literature. 文化, 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 文化 means culture. Let's write. Ke, ge, yo, cha, E, wen, room. Bye-bye. The lesson is done.